Hey there, honey bunnies. Welcome to episode 41 of Sovereign Storytellers Podcast with your host, Michelle Wolf. Today is You'll Never Be Good Enough. I have really been struggling with the concept of law of attraction lately as it relates to money. So if you don't know, and you can find it on the website, I run a monthly group called 10 Minutes to More Money, and we're using the one command, which you can Google. I have got a certificate to run wealth circles, and I've turned that into a daily guided practice. It takes less than 10 minutes and creates a lot of movement with people and their money. And it only charged $33 a month for that. It's 30 days. So you can check that out if you want to. However, what's been coming up for me, and I suspect for some other people, is we keep trying to do it right. And if things don't go right in our definition of right, then we can feel really wrong. I've noticed this in a couple of clients where they're really fast to take the blame for something not going right. And taking the blame for something and taking responsibility for your part in something is different. Blaming yourself for things going wrong in your life is a collapse energy. It allows us to just fall over and into victim thinking mode. If it's all my fault and I'm a loser, then I am completely disempowered and can't change it. If I blame myself for the normal ups and downs of mindset work, then I just stay trapped. If I say, oh, this is the normal ups and downs of mindset work, and today has been less than I would want it to be, but in this moment I can do something different. I can get back on track. I can adjust my sails. I can steer my car out of the ditch and back onto the road. That's taking responsibility. I got to a place the other day where I just didn't want to feel wrong anymore. I was reacting to everything I saw that was like, change your thoughts, change your life. Well, if you just do it right, then your life would be right. If you just get it right, if you were just good enough, meaning doing it right. If you were doing it right, you wouldn't be struggling with money. If your mindset was correct, then you wouldn't be having these problems. Maybe not. Maybe it's all in our control and maybe it's not. What if we're wrong? Just playing with the concepts lately. What if we're wrong? What if mindset work does nothing for you except make you feel better? Can that be a good enough goal? But too many of us are in the if this, then that. Well, if I get my mindset right, if I do it right, if I'm the star mindset pupil and I have a page filled with gold stars, then I'll have everything I want and then I can relax and be happy. Do you see how we can make that so tricky? Of course, we should tell ourselves positive things. Of course, we should work on our attitude, because do we not deserve to feel happy and as good as we can? Don't we deserve that? Don't our bodies deserve that? Because thinking negatively is terrible wear and tear on the physical body from all the stress hormones that we get addicted to. If you go back to some of the early podcasts when this was still called Addicted Mystics, you'll find a lot on addiction and brain stuff. But we get caught up in, I'm going to do the mindset work so that I'm going to adjust my attitude so that if this, then that. If I follow all the one commands and I show up every day, then I'll have money. What if you don't? What if you show up every day and your money doesn't change? What if other people experience changes and other people don't experience changes who are doing the same thing, showing up every day and participating? Some people are experiencing changes. Some people are getting a lot more awareness, which is excellent. And some people aren't changing at all. So then does it work or doesn't it? Tosha Silver, in her latest book, let me see if I can look up the name real quick while we're talking. But she talks about that some people are born with a set of circumstances that they're meant to have. And all the mindset work in the world won't change it. Her book is called It's Not Your Money. It's God's money. It's the divine's money. So she talks about doing the work with an attitude of whatever happens, happens. What is meant for you will always find you. That's a quote said by more than one teacher, I think. That we do the work for the sake of the work, not to get something specific, and because that's where we get bogged down. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make myself feel better so that I can have money and then feel better. That's a hidden agenda, and then it doesn't work. So in theory, if you're doing all the work and you're showing up and you're participating and you still don't have money, maybe you have a hidden agenda under there and you're not genuinely happy. You're laying a happy mask over you, but you're really seething with a lot of rage. Or maybe it's just not in your destiny or karma or whatever you want to call it to have ease with money this time around. If you believe everything's happening all at once in multiple timelines, which is what I believe, that time is not linear, then some aspects of you are going to be experiencing all the things, poverty and wealth. What if this reality is the aspect of you that's experiencing poverty in order to experience poverty, and to strip away the judgments that somehow that's bad? Is poverty bad? Or is our thinking about poverty bad? If you have enough to eat and somewhere to sleep and clothes to protect you from the elements, is anything more than that inherently good? Or is it just more? Is having less than your neighbors bad? Or is it just less? There's 6 apples. Why, when I podcast, does my accent get worse? What is that about? There's 6 apples on the table, or there's 1. Say there's a basket with 6 apples in it, and there's a basket with 1 apple in it. And your neighbor's holding the basket with 6 apples, and you're holding the basket with 1 apple. And 1 apple is enough food. So what's bad about that, and what's good about that? You don't have 6 apples, so you're not good. Your neighbor's like, oh, they only have 1 apple, so they're bad. Kids don't play with those themons. They only got 1 apple in their basket, so don't go over there because you might catch the poverty. You might catch the poverty cooties if you play with the kids that don't have the right clothes. I've heard women say that. I feel bad, but I don't want my kids playing with them because, they're poor, and that means what? What exactly does it mean? It means they have less money than you. It means their clothes look different than you. How is that bad? It's not a disease. You can't catch the poverties. And you can't immunize yourself against it by being ignorant. So I caught myself in a very negative shame spiral about not feeling like I'm doing it right. I must be doing it wrong. I must be defective somehow because I'm doing what I teach and nothing's changing. In fact, it often gets worse. So then we can say what I often say: when you activate a goal, you activate the shit between you and it. I ought to trademark that. The shit between you and it. When you're going for a goal, you activate everything that's not it, everything that's in the way of you and it. But is that true either? I don't know. We'd have to do some research studies and find out how many people actually did the daily thing and experienced no result for long periods of time. And how many people did the daily thing and their money changed and stayed changed forever. And that would be impossible research. If it's this invisible something or other that means you get it or you don't. I think we have to do a better job. Excuse me. I think we have to do a better job of dissecting even those stories, which always brings me back to the Tao Te Ching and the Buddhism where I'm most often anchored. I wouldn't give myself a label, but if I had to pick one, that would be it. Because when I get in those spirals, I have to go back to extreme mindfulness, not allowing myself to think any further than what's happening right now. I have to tightly focus my attention only on what I can see, feel, hear, taste, and touch. I have to come back and anchor in the body so solidly that my mind can't spin itself out of control. And when I do practice extreme mindfulness and stop worrying about what I'm thinking, I feel a whole lot better. Sometimes money comes in. Sometimes it doesn't. Maybe it's no more than that. Maybe it is what Esther Hicks says in her channeling of the energies she calls Abraham, that the purpose of life is joy, period. What's my purpose? I haven't found my purpose. I'm not living my purpose. Are you joyful? Then you're on purpose. Are you looking for all the reasons to be happy? Then you're living your purpose. The purpose is joy. If the purpose is joy and all you have to do is to feel happy, why are we so resistant to that? Because we have these stories that we've got to be good enough, and you're never going to be good enough because there is no good enough. Good enough as defined by who? Good enough as defined by how much approval you have from your peer group or your friend? Well, your friends are your peer group, dirt. Your family, your spouse, your kids. I know people who will not make decisions that need to be made in their life because they're worried about what their kids are going to think. So they stay in really wretched situations because their kids don't want them to take whatever action they're contemplating. They'd rather have a miserable parent than to deal with what their parents' actions are going to, disrupt in their world. Is that good? Are you a good person if you aren't rocking the boat? Are you a bad person if you decide that you actually are going to leave that job that's killing you, even though your family won't like it? Even though your family might need to live in a smaller house or drive an older car? You're never going to be good enough. If you are seeking joy, it's found in the body. Having stumbled across the system of human design and diving into it and now coaching with it, I can't imagine doing anything different because every single piece of it brings you back to the body. It's the best tool for implementing extreme mindfulness that I've ever seen. It literally shows you every single area that you're struggling with as being part of your design. And it, with my background in coaching and being a therapist and specializing in trauma and addictions years ago, then I know exactly the tools and the structure to give you to mitigate that active gate or active channel, to help you live through your strategy and authority, and all authority is the body. You don't make a single decision without consulting with your unique physical body. Your body will tell you exactly what decision to make and not make. And that's good enough for you because you're in alignment, you're coherent, every part of you is functioning together once you strip away all the stories, and that becomes you being good enough for you. But if you're trying to be good so you can earn the money, if you're trying to be good so you can feel loved, step to the back of the line, because it's never going to happen. Because it can't. It's not possible. It's not about being good. It's about following what's right for you, your unique pathway. You can't earn love. You can't earn money in that sense. You can't earn approval. And that's what we're doing, some of us, maybe a lot of us, with this mindset work. I'm going to do it right. I'm going to be the A student, and then I'm going to get what I really want. Rather than just letting ourselves have what we really want energetically, and then letting the outside catch up or not. If you let yourself have what you want right now energetically in your consciousness, then you get to have the joy right now. And if the physical object shows up one day, well, yippee skippy, but until then, at least you get to be happy. At least you get to be happy. What if happy was like the crowning glory of your existence? What if we measured success by our ability to always be bringing ourselves back to the awareness of the body, to always be bringing ourselves back to this now moment where everything relaxes, where we can clearly see that right now in this moment, there's no problem. Right now in this moment, we are truly wealthy. You're not going to be good enough. Can you drop it? Talking to myself here. You're never going to do all the things correctly. You're never going to always get the A. You're never going to always do it right. Perfectionism at the extreme. Trying to earn happiness. You see how distorted that is? So we're trying to do the thing, whether it's the one command or human design or whatever it is, we're trying to do it right so that we can get the thing so that we can feel happy. Do you see that's pretty messed up? I'm going to do my one command every day so that I can get all the money. And when I get all the money, then I can relax and be happy. So let me try and work hard, and struggle, and still fail because I'm still miserable, because that's not how it works, because you're never going to be good enough. What if success was defined purely by your ability to choose what you want to feel because you're so mindful and so aware in every moment? How about that as a definition of success? My metric of success has been for too long narrowly focused on, is there money in the bank to pay the trash guy today or not? Today, not. It's going to be late. That bill's going to be late. And is that a bad thing or a good thing or just a thing? There's not enough in there today. That's just a fact. Is it good or bad? Does it mean I'm not doing the law of attraction mindset work correctly? That I'm a failure? Because the numbers aren't there? I've been functioning that way. Oh, the money's not there. The clients aren't there. I'm not doing it right. Let me look at where I can do it right. Not good enough. If the money was there, then I'd be telling myself, oh, it's working. I'm doing it right. I must be good. I must be good at it now because the money is there. What? That is far too narrow a definition of success. And I've been really beating myself over the head with that nonsense for years. For years. Decades. Probably from the first time I got approval by having a grade. Ooh, the teacher loves me because I did it right. I'm good. I got the A. I love that feeling of approval. Let me do that again. Oh, it didn't work this time. Therefore, I must be bad. Let me make myself wrong and blame myself and try more to do it right and be good. Psh. There's $24 in the bank or there's not $24 in the bank. That's it. Everything else is story, judgment, limitation, nonsense. So in this new definition of success, the ability to choose my emotion, I'm aware that it's a habit to feel bad about that. So I can choose to reframe it and not call it bad. It just is. I'm not willing to do that anymore where I'm like, oh, well, they didn't make their payment. or they didn't sign up, or they didn't do something, and so now the money's not there, so I must be wrong. Let me go make myself wrong and look at how wrong I am and see where I can do more right. Psh, over it. Not gonna do it. Doesn't feel good. Ain't happening. I was talking to a woman in a session the other day. We were talking about how there's a saying in the South. It might be everywhere because it makes sense, but if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. So everybody better do whatever it takes to keep mama happy, because then everybody else gets to be happy. What if we applied that to ourselves? If we're not happy, ain't nothing going to be happy. If we don't make ourselves happy by choosing to be happy, by choosing to look for the good, by choosing to tell ourselves the truth, oh, here's this thing again. Well, how do I want to feel about it today? How would I like to frame this in my head today? What do I want to say to myself about this today? Not in the interest of being bad or good or doing this so that that will happen, but just in the interest of I deserve to feel good. And so do you. We deserve to feel good. And feeling good doesn't mean pushing away or not acknowledging all the tragedies and terrible things happening. It means seeing those and saying, how do I want to show up to be with this? Let me get clear. Let me be mindful. Let me check in with my body and follow its lead over which action to take, which today might be a donation, or it might be saying a prayer, or it might be going and finding something to do that makes me happy so that I can contribute that to the world instead of my miserable, collapsing, self-blame, shame spiral routine. I'm not powerful if I continue to tell stories about good and bad. And I like to feel powerful. I like to feel the power and the centered groundedness of acknowledging that, whoa, somebody stop the bus. I was just telling myself a story and making myself feel bad. Let me tell myself a story. If I'm going to tell myself a story, why not tell myself a story about how, I used to tell that story that made me feel bad, but today I'm going to acknowledge, I see myself telling myself a shitty story. I'm going to tell myself a different story instead. You're going to tell a story, tell a good one. If you're happy, other people get to be happy. And again, happy doesn't mean not feeling pain or sorrow ever. It means feeling the pain or sorrow, acknowledging it, being aware of it, and then making a fucking choice. I'm not going to define success anymore by the number in the bank. I'm not. It doesn't feel good. It actually feels really straight up shitty. So I'm not going to tell that story anymore. As I get to choose. I get to strip away this good and bad. I'm never going to be good enough, obviously, because the money isn't changing. Nope. You are good. I am good. We are good. Because we're good. Not because of what we do, but because of what we are. Not because of the affirmations we say, or the courses we take, or the service that we give. Everybody's born good. You are good. Your everlasting soul is good, and you can't earn it. There's nothing you could do. You couldn't earn it if you tried. It's forever. It's everlasting. It is what it is. So take a look at your if this, then that. If I do this right, if I'm just good enough, then I'll have the thing and then I'll feel happy. How about you just jump over that middle part? How about you just pole vault yourself over that, river of alligators and land straight on the other side of, you know what? I'm just fine. Everything's fine. Even if I died today, everything is fine. And if I choose to see it through a nightmare lens, I can take that nightmare lens off and put on the lens of truth that, yeah, some things are painful and that's not bad. Some things are a struggle, but struggle isn't inherently bad. If I'm struggling, that doesn't mean I'm bad. It means I'm struggling. I can tell myself a story of growing stronger through struggle. Or I can tell myself a story about how shitty my life is because I'm still struggling. You get it? You're never going to be good enough because you're already good. Okay? You're already good. You're already doing it right. You're still alive. You still have a chance in this moment to become aware of what you're feeling, to tell yourself the truth about what you're doing to yourself. Stop blaming it on other people. Stop blaming the program. Stop blaming the teacher. Stop blaming the politics and the weather and the money in the bank or the whatever it is that you're using to tell yourself a shit story. All right? You're good. You're doing it right. You're here. If you're still listening, you have a heart that cares. Or you would have moved on to some, bro marketing podcast about sales funnels, and also nothing wrong with those. But could you give yourself some credit for today? You're good enough. You're good. You are good. You have value. You are worthy. You are amazing. You have so much to give. You have so much that you should be receiving. You have choice. You have freedom. You're strong. You never give up. You are good. Think it over. Feel it over. Think less, feel more. You can find me just about anywhere. ThatMichelleWolf.com if you want to work with me. Talk to you later.